Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Last week we talked about jhana, definition of jhana, and also some of the characteristics of the jhana. Today we will explain a little bit more. We are talking about rupa vachara chetas. So 50 rupa chetas. Among them, we will have 5 kusala chetas. 5 kusala chetas. So the first one, we call it the first jhana. The first jhana, wholesome consciousness together with the thought. In Bhikkhu Bodhi book, you will see initial application. Initial application. But here in Bhikkhu Bodhi, when he translates in the suttas, he used the word thought. Vitaka. But in Abhidhamma, he trying to use this one, initial application. Because Abhidhamma trying to use a precise usage. In Abhidhamma, we use one-pointedness. In the suttas, quite often you will see samadhi, concentration, right? Concentration. So this is the nature of Abhidhamma. I follow Bhikkhu Bodhi Sutta translation. We take as a thought. Of course, it is better to use the word initial application because it's, if we are using the word thought, it might lead to misunderstanding. So therefore, you will see in the book initial application, vitaka, right? Vitaka. And also vichara. I shoot the word. Sorry, vichara. Bhikkhu Bodhi in Abhidhamma book, sustained application. Sustained application. Later you will know why we translate as the initial application, sustained application. Later you will know it. Currently we have a two translation. In CMA book, sustained application, vichara. But in the suttas, Bhikkhu Bodhi used the word examination. So later you will know it. Piti, here, piti, rapture. Sukha is pleasure. One-pointedness, ekagata. So one-pointedness is similar to concentration. So we use the word concentration, samadhi. But in Abhidhamma, we use one-pointedness. It's more precise, more precise. So later, I think we might use Pali term, vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. Only 5, These are the 5 jhana factors. So when you have all these five jhana factors are functioning well, then you attain the first jhana. So that means, the first jhana consciousness consists of 5 jhana factors. Vitaka, initial application or thought. Vichara, sustained application or examination. Piti, rapture. Sukha, pleasure. And Ekagata, one-pointedness. So these are the 5 jhana factors. When you want to attain second jhana, you need to remove thought, vitaka. You need to overcome by way of concentration. You need to cultivate your concentration more and more deeper, deeper and deeper. So the more you have deeper concentration, the more you will be able to overcome grosser jhana factors. So therefore, if you can overcome vitaka, that means you will attain second jhana. Second jhana, consciousness, together with vichara, examination, piti, rapture, sukha, pleasure, and ekagata, one-pointedness. So when you want to attain the third jhana, higher jhana, you need to increase your concentration again. The more your mind is concentrated, the more you will see vichara is grosser, not very good for your meditation. Then if you can overcome vichara, then you will attain the third jhana. Together with piti, sukha, ekagata, only 3 jhana factors, right? 3 jhana factors. Then if you try to attain third jhana again and again, you will realize that piti is a danger for you, for your further development or further concentration. For that reason, so you try to overcome piti as well. If you can overcome piti, then you attain the 4th jhana. Together with sukha and ekagata, only 2, right? Only 2. Sukha and ekagata. And also pleasure, even sukha, is a danger for further deeper concentration and more tranquilized meditation. Then you try to overcome it, so that becomes the 5th jhana. Together with equanimity, one-pointedness. Equanimity. In the 5th jhana, you have only equanimity and one-pointedness. Because of equanimity, that your mind became tranquilized and calmer. It became like a polished mirror. Your mind became very clear by that time. So the Buddha, even Bodhisattva, so after attaining the 5th jhana, let's say the 5th jhana, his mind became like a polished mirror, very clear, In the polished mirror, clear mirror, then you can see your face very clearly. So just like that, after attaining the 5th jhana, the Buddha mind is very clear and purified, very pure. So for that reason, he can be able to see previous life and the life of other beings, how they die, how they reappear in the new existences. And also he began to see the real nature of suffering, the cause of suffering, and how to practice it, and how to end that suffering. So that is the 4 Noble Truths, right? Because of this concentration, because of this jhana, he see all these one as they really are, the real nature of everything. Equanimity. Okay, so these are the 5 kusala chetas in the rupa vachara chetas. We have 50 rupa vachara chetas here, wholesome consciousness. We have 5 jhanas in the wholesome consciousness. we have a 5 jhanas in the wholesome consciousness. We have a 5 jhana as a resultant consciousness. We have another 5 jhana, the functional consciousness. When the Buddha and Arahant attain all these 5 jhanas, so we call their mind as a functional consciousness. Functional consciousness. When other people, like a Puthojana, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Nagami, so when they attain these 5 jhana, so we call their mind as a wholesome consciousness. Wholesome consciousness. So when you was born in the Brahma realm, so 1 Chaitas will perform as a rebirth linking consciousness. That is called resultant consciousness. Resultant consciousness. So here, resultant consciousness or vipaka is the result of kusala, right? Wholesome consciousness. Because of that, so you were born in the Brahma realm. So vipaka chaita or resultant consciousness will perform only rebirth linking function, bhavanga function, and death function in the Brahma realm. In the Brahma realm. So altogether, we will have a 50 rupa chaitas. 50 rupa chaitas. 5 kusala chaita, 5 vipaka chaita, 5 kriya chaitas. Altogether 50. Okay, I hope this is clear, right? You can look at page number 55. Page number 55. No? Any question? No question, huh? Okay, then let's continue to learn about jhana factors as well as the jhana. If you know the nature of jhana factor, you know the nature of the jhana. So the first one is vitakka, thought. Vitakka, thought. Normally we have a lot of thought, right? While you are learning here, you may think about your job, you may think about your family, right? We normally call you are thinking something. You are thinking about your family, you are thinking about your job, etc. Thought. You have a lot of thought. But when we talk about jhana chaitas, actually, if you use the word thought, it's a little bit, how to say, dangerous, you know, dangerous. It's not a very, it is not a growth thought. It is very subtle one. Vitakka. Okay, so vitakka direct the mind to the object. To the object. Vitakka is one type of mind, you know, similar, you know, it's also the mind. Vitakka bring the mind to the object. That is a general nature of vitakka. Vitakka. Right now, you are studying Abhidhamma. Then your vitakka will bring your mind to your family. Your family is an object to think, right? So your vitakka is another mind, you know, your mind, a part of your mind. So vitakka will bring your mind to your family. So that means you're thinking about your family. You are thinking about your family right now, you know. But if we are talking in Abhidhamma way of thinking, we say that your vitakka bring your mind to your family. If you think about your job, your vitakka bring your mind to your job. Job is an object. The family is an object. So that is definition of vitakka. Definition of vitakka. So here, Bhikkhu Bodhi used the word initial application. Initial application. So that means vitakka initiate your mind to an object. Initial application. Because of Vitaka, your mind know an object. So that is a definition of Vitaka. Vitaka. It is not a gross thought or gross thinking, just we are using in daily life, day-to-day life. It is in jhana, when we're talking about Vitaka in jhana, it is automatic movement back into the object of meditation object. Automatic is automatic because you're doing again and again, right? If you are driving, everything, almost everything is automatic, right? Automatic. You know how to, automatically your hand are doing that, right? But when somebody is driving for the first time, no automatic. Need a lot of training, right? Need a lot of training. But when you become very, how to say, when you are experienced in driving, so you don't need to tell your mind, you know, what to do, how to do. It's automatic. In surface level. But deep inside, you know, when we analyze the whole process of your mind by that time, according to Abhidhamma, no, it's not automatic, you know. Your mind is, Vitaka is telling your mind what to do, you know, how to turn, how to go, where to go, like that. So it's very series of mind process. But mind process is so quick and so quick that you do not notice that, you know, according to Bdmv. So here my point is, when you become clever in driving, almost everything is automatic, like it automatic. Here also similarly, because it needs a lot of training, right? I mean the driving, a lot of training. Similarly, in the jhana level, just before you attain jhana, you need to make a lot of training, you know, breathing in and breathing out, right? It needs a lot of practice. When you are breathing in, you know that you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know that you're breathing out. You do it again and again, separate times, you know, millions of times. So when you are going to attain jhana, it became automatic, you know, automatic. The moment you sit down, your mind go to the in-breath and out-breath. Whatever you do, almost automatic, because you train your mind separate time. You cultivate your mind, right? Separate time, by using in-breath and out-breath, or by using nimitta, bright nimitta, or something like that. So therefore, here, when we talk about Vitaka, it is automatic movement back to the meditation object. So as soon as you sit down, your mind automatically go to in-breath and out-breath right away, you know. For that reason, you will have that some serious meditator, as soon as they sit down, their mind right away go to in-breath and out-breath. One of my students told me that before he meditate, he was disappointed to queue up. You know, he's queuing up long stretch of people, you know, very, very lazy, disappointed. And he said that after meditation, never mind. He never mind to queue up long stretch of people, because he know how to spend his time. So that means his mind automatically go to in-breath and out-breath. Time totally disappear for him, because stay in the present moment, right? So even though there are a lot of people in front of him, no disappointment, So automatic, his mind is automatic to the in-breath and out-breath. So here also, vitakami, automatic movement back into the meditation object. So before you sit down, you may be thinking about other things, cooking, preparing food, and washing your clothing, etc. Then after you finish everything, you sit down, then your mind will almost automatic. Because it's a training, right? You train a lot of time, separate time, because of that. So your vitaka will bring to the meditation object, in breath and out breath, right away. So that is the nature of vitaka. So simply we can call it directed attention. Your mind or your vitaka directed attention to the meditation object, right? Directed attention. Vitaka is compared to a close friend of the king who brings a villager to the king. So here is a very beautiful simile that explains the nature of vitaka. Vitaka is similar to a close friend of the king. Maybe close friend of, maybe we can say the Prime Minister in Singapore, right? Prime Minister. So he will bring a villager to the king. So the king here is an object. So the villager cannot go and meet the king directly, right? He needs one person or an agent to get appointment for him to meet the king. So similarly, vitaka will perform the bringing of the mind to the object. So here, the king is compared to an object, meditation object. So vitaka will bring the mind. The mind is a villager. So vitaka will bring a villager to the king. Then the king the villager meet the king. Then later they became very close friends. They're very familiar with the king. So the villager no need to contact to the friend of the king, right? He can go to the king directly without the help of his friend. So that means if you no longer need vitaka in your meditation, you attain second jhana. But to attain the first jhana, vitaka is the most important factors. The mind may go many objects. The mind may be, vitaka may be bringing your mind to many objects, about family, the food, the place you visited, etc. But when your mind is concentrated, then vitaka bring only to the meditation object, right? So vitaka is immersed to attain the first jhana. But if you still need vitaka in your meditation, you cannot go to second jhana. Similarly, if you still need a close friend of the king, you cannot meet the king directly, right? Similarly, when you still have a vitaka in your mind, you cannot attain second jhana. So later I will explain the first jhana, the nature of the first jhana, the nature of second jhana, etc. So now I'm talking about the nature of vitaka. Vitaka is state of mind, a part of your mind. So vitaka perform bringing your mind to an object. Also, It is compared to a bees diving toward a flower. A bee diving toward a flower. You can see the flower. Flower is an object. You are in breath and out breath. You're breathing. So here, a bee is coming to the flower, right? Dive into the flower. Coming toward the flower. Similarly, so Vitakka need to bring your mind to the object, to the object. So this is the nature of Vitakka. Vitakka bring your mind to the object. So when you are meditating, your Vitakka bring your meditation object. So then only you are meditating. If your Vitakka bring into other object, you are not meditating. You are thinking many other things, right? While you are meditating. So Vitakka may bring so many objects, right? As a meditator, what you have to do is make sure that your Vitakka bring your mind to the meditation object only. The next one is a vichara. Simply we translate it examination. Vichara, examine the object. Examine the object. Vichara is a sustained application of the mind on the object. Sustained application of the mind. So we start trying to sustain your mind, hold your mind to stay near the object, near the meditation object. It keeps the mind, the continuous exercise on the object, and examine it. So Vitakka will bring your mind to the object. So vichara trying to keep your mind, the continuous exercise me, stay near the object, and examining it. Vitakka take the mind to the object, put the mind near the object. Vichara keep the mind on that object, trying to anchor there, Vichara trying to hold the object. Because of vichara, so you know what you are concentrating. You know your meditation object clearly, in breath and out breath, very clearly. So this is the nature of Vitakka and vichara. So here, Vitakka is like a bee diving toward a flower. As I earlier said that. Vichara is like a bee hovering over it. The bee diving into the flower. Not directly going, right? Hovering nearby, trying to hover. So that means examining, this is the flower that he need to get, honey, what is it? Honeycomb. Nectar, right? Nectar like that. So this is the nature of Vitakka and vichara. Vitakka bring the mind to the object. Vichara trying to sustain, to stay nearby, examining it. Just like a bee, trying to hover near the flowers, trying to examine the flowers. Because of vichara, you know the nature of in-breath and out-breath, whether it is long or short, whether it is a hot or cool, etc. So that because of vichara, examination. The next one is rapture, piti. Sometimes we translate it zest. Everybody use the word zest, right? CMA, what he used, zest or rapture. In the sutta, he used rapture. I think in CMA he used zest, right? Zest. Piti, piti is a joy or a delight in the meditation object. With that, one will experience pleasurable interest in the meditation object. So, Vitakka will bring your mind to the in-breath and out-breath. The vichara trying to stay there, examine it. So when Vitakka and vichara are doing well, then you begin to like what you are doing, begin to like your meditation, because it gives you some kinds of pleasure, some kind of pleasure. Normally, you get pleasure by enjoying sensual pleasure, right? Here in meditation, you're not enjoying sensual pleasures, but you still have a pleasure in your mind, a good feeling in your mind. That is piti. Because of piti, you have an interest in meditation. Without piti, you cannot. You don't want to meditate. Some people, they take long leave, about 2 months, 3 months, to go to meditation retreat. A very well-paid job, very well-paid job. One of my devotees, I think his house salary is very high, Chief accountants. She said she will take long leave after December. So many people may think that, it's very how to say, why she decide like that? Her salary is very, very high. No, she get piti in meditation. She enjoy in meditation. She knew that meditation give her a peace of mind, and she want to go deeper and deeper. So, of course, she will get money by walking, but there are a lot of, disturbances and also a lot of worry, a lot of ups and downs, right, in the job. So, meditation will give her, peace of mind. Because of that, normal people will decide, to enjoy sensual pleasure, to enjoy food, going here and there, like that. But she has been meditating for many years. She knows the joy in meditation. Because of that, she decided to take a long leave, because of piti, because of piti. So it's not easy to get this piti. Pleasurable interest. You are interested in meditation. As soon as you get a holiday in your job. As soon as you have a leave in your job, you go to meditation center like that. You're trying to meditate. Normally she go after Friday walk. She will go to a monastery to meditate. Stay there one night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday evening she will go back. And Monday morning she will go to work. So that is because of piti. Without piti, normal people cannot do that, right? We have a lot of things in our life, that draw your attention, especially sensual pleasures. So here, when you have piti or pleasurable interest in your meditation, so when piti is present in your mind, it refreshes the mind and body. So in that way, meditator can meditate for many hours. So they enjoy it. When I go to Pao Meditation Center, I met with the foreign monks from China, from Cambodia, from Korea. So I talked to them. I asked them how many years they have been here. So they say 5 years, 6 years, like that. Many long years, you know. But in the meditation center, what they have to live is simple place. The food, simple food, vegetarian food. And the whole day they meditate. Of course, they also have some duty, like a registration for the student, etc. And they have some duties, and most of the time they meditate. You can imagine that staying in the meditation center, you know, there is no interesting things in the meditation center, you know. The way they live, the way they eat, simplicity. So, because of piti, they can stay there, right? So therefore, when you have a piti in meditation, wow, you will continue to meditate, you know. You were trying to get time, you know, for meditation. Not easy. It needs a lot of practice, The number 4, happiness, sukha. Sukha is a pleasant mental feeling which is born of detachment from sensual pleasures. When you talk about happiness or pleasure, it's nothing to do with sensual pleasures. So you get this happiness or pleasure in meditation. Detachment from sensual pleasure. Your mind is free from hindrances, you know. No desire to enjoy sensual pleasures. But you have, because of concentration, you have a happiness or pleasure in meditation. So we can simply call it jhana happiness, meditation happiness. Normally, I'm trying to categorize 3 types of happiness. Number 1, sensory happiness. So we are happy by enjoying sensual pleasures with our senses. You know? When we are seeing movie, football match, etc. Right? We are happy. That's a sensory happiness. When you are listening music, very happy, sensory happiness. When you are having a exquisite smell, you know, very good smell, very happy, you know. Eating a good food, very happy. Having physical contact, very happy. So this type of happiness, sensory happiness. We are always having that sensory happiness, right? But you cannot get sensory happiness as your content, right? As your content. When you grow older, you have some diseases that you cannot eat every food, right? You cannot eat every food. You cannot watch movie because of your eye, poor eyesight, right? You cannot listen music all the time, like when you are young, no. So sensory happiness limited, right? Limited, and also a lot of limit, and also a lot of side effect. And also another one is jhana happiness or meditation happiness. So when you have a deep concentration, you will have a rapture in your mind. You will have a happiness or pleasurable interest, pleasure in your mind. That's a jhana happiness, which is nothing to do with sensual pleasures. So when you are meditating, you get this happiness. Another one is nibbana happiness. Nibbana, cessation of suffering, right? cessation of suffering. Nibbana means extinguishment of all the fires. Our greed, greedy mind, very hot, Our anger, our hatred is very hot. Like a mind, like a fire, like a fire. Our delusion or ignorance also can cause a lot of fire, a lot of hot sensation in our mind. Lobha, dosa, moha, these are the fires of the mind. So when you can extinguish lobha, dosa, moha in your life, you will experience the bliss of Nibbana. The bliss of Nibbana, cool sensation. Even you encounter unpleasant news, unpleasant things in your life. No dosa, no lobha, no moha. Then you will have a peace of mind, right? A peace of mind. That peace of mind is Nibbana, Peace of mind is Nibbana, the bliss of Nibbana. You don't have hot sensation in your mind. You don't have fires in your mind. So, even though you are going to face with the death, no fear in your mind, right? So, peace of mind, that's Nibbana. Nibbana can be experienced any time, any place, any place, or anyone you meet with, any encounter that you meet with so many people, right? Nibbana, no place, no time, You can experience any time. But jhana happiness, you can experience only you are in jhana, right? You are in concentration. When you come out from your jhana, when your meditation, then you lost that happiness, right? That happiness. So therefore, Nibbana happiness is the best. Okay, so here happiness, simply happiness or pleasure, is a pleasure, pleasant mental feeling which is born of detachment from sensual pleasures. So here, piti, rapture or joy, sukha, happiness or pleasure, very close, almost similar. Though piti and sukha are closely connected, they are different in terms of their activities. This is according to Abhidhamma. So in the suttas, it's not easy to differentiate between piti and sukha. Piti is a little bit, excitement, connected with the exciting things. When you are young, so you are very happy when you are encountered with exciting things, right? Exciting things in your life. Exciting things. That's piti. But when you grow old, so you don't need those exciting things, right? That when you have a certain thing in your life, you have a happiness or pleasure in your mind. Even though no exciting things, you have a happiness or pleasure in your life. That's the sukha. But when we talk about according to Abhidhamma, piti belong to the aggregate of mental function. Mental formation. Sankarakkhana. Why sukha is a feeling belonging to the aggregate of feeling within that khana. We have 5 aggregate, right? 5 aggregate. Rupa, the matter, Vedana feeling. Sukha is included in the feeling. And perception, right? Another one is a mental formation, sankhara. So here, piti belongs to sankarakkhana, the aggregate of mental formation. So if you confuse, doesn't matter, don't worry. So later you will know it. So just want to differentiate between sukha and piti. Piti is compared to the delight a weary traveler who experience when coming across an oasis, sukha to his pleasure after bathing and drinking. So this is the nature of piti and sukha. So actually, commentators trying to give any simile, simile or example. One traveler is going in the desert and no water, very hot, and it's very, very hot, right? Very hot. Then suddenly he saw an oasis. Became very happy, right? Became very happy because he's thirsty, hungry. The weather is very hot, and also the ground also a lot of sand, right? The side is very hot. Then he became weary. Then as he go along, then he meet an oasis. He became very happy. He realized that he will not die because he can drink water. He can take a rest under the tree, right? Under the tree. Became very happy. So happiness or joyous feeling just before he arrived in the oasis is called piti. Then a weary traveler will reach an oasis and he will drink water, he will take a shower, he will eat some of the, the fruit of lotus flower, the fruit of lotus flower, lotus seed. Then his hunger disappear, his thirst disappear. So that means drinking water, taking a shower, and also eating the seed of lotus flower, or maybe the leaf of the sun trees. It's like a sukha. He enjoying it, right? He enjoy his body. Like that, piti is a kind of exciting mental state. So sukha is a pleasure or happiness that you encounter with your body, especially with your body. So the piti is deeper and stabler. Piti is a little bit exciting thing. Okay, so in the jhana, so when you attain the third jhana together with the piti, when you want to attain the fourth jhana, you need to overcome piti, right? Piti. Okay, another one is one-pointedness, ekaggata. One-pointedness, ekaggata. Ekaggata literally means a one-pointed state. A one-pointed state. Eka means one. Aga means pointer or peak. Dhamma state. So the one aga means the peak of something, like the peak of a mountains, the peak of a building, the peak of a trees. Like when you look at the temple, temple building, the higher place. When you look at the mountain, higher place, the peak of a mountain. Here, it refers to the summit of the jhana experience. So only you have ekaggata, one-pointedness, you will attain the first jhana. So therefore, ekaggata is the primary component or the essence of all five jhanas. Ekaggata, one-pointedness. Another one, concentration. Samadhi. So when the Pali Canon or the Buddha want to explain right concentration, samadhi, among the Noble Eightfold Path, right? So the less the Noble Eightfold Path, is a Samma Samadhi, right concentration. So the Buddha explain by using the four jhana, According to Abhidhamma, five jhanas. So that means right concentration, Samma Samadhi, and one-pointedness, we can call it the same, we call it the same. So that means when you want to attain the first jhana, you need to have all these five jhana factors. So all these five jhana factors must be completed, then only you attain jhana. Okay, any question up to now? Five jhana factors. Okay.
Bhante, does these five factors arise together or they arise one after another?
Yeah, according to Abhidhamma, I will say that according to Abhidhamma, one mind movement can arise at a time. So according to this concept, they will arise one after another. After Vitakka bring the mind to the meditation object, the Vichara will try to sustain the mind nearby. Then if Vitakka and Vichara functioning very well, then you have a piti or rapture in your mind. Then after piti, you have a pleasure or happiness, sukha. Then based on sukha, you have a one-pointedness, maybe one after another. But the mental state is so quick that we normally say they arise together. Here we use the word together with, right? Together with. They will not arise, or how to say, all together in one time. They will arise one after another. But all these five jhana factors are working, together, then you attain the first jhana. Good point. Yeah. Okay.
Second question is that regarding the five aggregates, why the feeling aggregates and the perception aggregates is classified separately from the mental concomitant? Why the explanation? Why do they do not subsume into the mental concomitant aggregate instead?
So that means feeling and perception are Chitasika, you mean like? Chitasika.
Yeah, correct.
Why it is classified differently?
Why
Right?
Why it was classified as a separate aggregate and not subsumed into the mental concomitant aggregates?
I think many of you know five aggregate, right? So the first one is rupa, the aggregate of matter. Rupa means every material phenomena, your body, something you see, something you hear, etc. So these are the matter. Then I have I, my eye is matter, right? And you all are sitting here. Something, people I see also the matter, right? Because of these two matter, material phenomena, then I'm consciousness arise. So based on consciousness, we call it contact. Because of contact, feeling, right? So here, when you look at mind process, feeling. Then after feeling, we will have a mental formation. In other words, mental activities. Earlier we talked about this, right? So here, in this mind process, perception is missing, right? Perception is missing. Actually, perception is very important, mental factor in our mind process. I see one person, then pleasant or unpleasant sensation, right? Pleasant feeling will arise. Then there will be perception. Mind perception will be there, right? When I see one person, I have a perception toward that person. Oh, this guy is very nice. This guy is very bad, etc. Right? Perception. So 5 aggregate talk about it's a kind of mind process, different way of presenting or different way of explanation about the mind process. Not only mind process, the component of our life, especially component of our body. Body is mind, right? Then when you see, when you hear, then feeling will be there. Feeling is one important aspect of our mind. Then based on that feeling, you will have a perception. You perceive that object, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, or you like it or you don't like it, etc. You have a perception, right? Your perception is very important in our experience, in our experience. Then after perception, based on your perception, the mind will function. We call it mental formation. The mind will form, the mind will form. Bhikkhu Sujata, he translates sankhara like a mental activities. So I like it that one, mental activities. After based on your perception, your mind will have a lot of activities, whether you like or you don't like, right? You enjoy or you don't enjoy, like that. So how about consciousness? How about consciousness? Why? We are, keeping consciousness behind, in the 5 aggregate. It is because I think it is the most delicate component. For that reason, it keep behind. So in other words, 5 aggregate talk about important aspect of our experience, right? So to have an experience, you need material phenomena, you need matter. Then based on matter, you have a feeling. Based on feeling, you have a perception. Based on your perception, you have a lot of mental activities, mental activities. A lot of mental formation. So for that reason, to talk about important component of our experience, so the Buddha trying to divide feeling and perception. Even though they are cetasika or mental factor, you use a mental concomitant, right? So mental factor or mental concomitant. So the Buddha trying to divide into 2, right? Into 2. When you look at dependent origination, so the Buddha divided into more, mental concomitants. So it depends. So sometimes the Buddha use 5 aggregate, 5 aggregate method. Sometimes the Buddha use 12 bases, ayatana method. Sometimes the Buddha use dependent origination method. Sometimes the Buddha use element method. Depends on different conditions, right? So I think for those who have learned Abhidhamma, you will know that feeling, perception, so they are cetasika. And also under the mental formation, sankhara, we have another 50 cetasika. Altogether 52. But the Buddha trying to take out feeling and perception as a separate aggregate because they are important. So when we see one person, feeling will arise, right? Definitely sensation will arise. Based on sensation, we will have our own perception. We perceive that person. We perceive that object. Based on our perception, then our mind will function. So therefore, perception, it is to look at our perceptions very important, right? Normally, we have a lot of mental images of it passing in our mind, in our mind. So when I visit my village, actually I left my village at the age of 12, moved to city to study my Buddhist study. So I have a lot of mental image that I perceive about the people, when I was 12 years old. Based on that perception, even now I decide, oh, this guy is not good, and this woman is not good, like that. No, totally change, So people I met at the age of 12 years old and people I met right now totally change, So for that reason, so we have to be very careful about our perception, Based on our perception, so we normally decide, right? For that reason, when our perception is wrong, then our action, our action will be wrong. Then when I was 12 years old, I have a mental image, oh, this guy is good. Then I try to walk with him. But right now, he changed a lot, He became a bad guy in the village. So my perception about that person is dangerous, if I do not examine very well. Actually, in our daily life, right, we have a lot of wrong perception. Because of those perceptions, we are taking wrong action. For that reason, the Buddha decided, the Buddha trying to categorize feeling and perception as a separate aggregate, separate khandha. Okay, any question? Actually, this question should come after we have learned 5 aggregate, Okay, so no more question, right? Okay, let's talk about the first jhana. First of all, we need to establish mindfulness based on one meditation object. Suppose if you want to use breathing object, you have to establish your mindfulness based on your breathing. If you want to establish your mindfulness based on loving kindness, based on an object of loving kindness, you need to use it. You need to establish mindfulness based on that. So we have a different meditation object. You can use whatever meditation method you use, you need to develop your mindfulness. You need to establish your mindfulness first. Then, you need to keep placing the mind on the meditation object. Keep placing the mind, bringing your mind to the meditation object. That's Vitakka, right? So, to attain jhana, Vitakka plays an instrumental role, Without Vitakka, you cannot attain jhana. So, Vitakka, trying to keep placing your mind on the meditation object. The mind may go away, then Vitakka will bring your mind to the meditation object. And the mind may go other meditation object as well, other object, then your Vitakka will bring the mind to the meditation object again and again. That's the nature of Vitakka. Then you need to examine meditation object. Examination of the meditation object is vichara. Vichara is sustained application. So vitaka initiate the mind to the object, to the meditation object. Then vichara trying to sustain, or trying to hold meditation object. It's a kind of examining, right? A kind of examining. Holding on that meditation object. By doing so, a joy or pleasurable interest in the object will arise. If vitaka and vichara are functioning well, if they are doing their job, then you have a piti in your mind, pleasurable interest. Whenever you have free time, you will meditate. So that is piti. So therefore, to bring your mind to the meditation object, you need to do it again and again. For that reason, we call it cultivation, right? Cultivate. Now, vitaka, vichara, piti. Then pleasure or happiness in the body and mind will give rise. So when you are practicing, bringing your mind to the meditation object and examining meditation object, holding meditation object, then you will have a interest in your meditation. You have a delight in meditation, piti. Then after that, you have a pleasure or happiness in the body and mind, which is nothing to do with sensual pleasures. Because of bodily, mental, and tranquility, because of bodily and mental tranquility and pleasure, which is totally secluded from sensual pleasures. Your joy and your delight, your pleasure, it's nothing to do with the sensual pleasures. It comes from concentration. The meditator is able to take meditation object firmly. Here, samadhi means taking an object firmly, taking an object firmly. You're taking an object firmly. That's samadhi. When your mind can take breathing object firmly, that's called samadhi. In other words, it is called one-pointedness. Your mind pointed to one meditation object. No other object cannot come in. No other object can come in. So here, samadhi, the definition of samadhi is taking an object firmly. Your mind can take breathing object firmly. So that is samadhi. In other words, your mind pointed to one meditation object, one-pointedness, ekagata. So then the mind became fixed on the object. So your mind lock on the object. So that means when you are taking breathing meditation object, the mind is not going anywhere. The mind fixed on the meditation object, breathing. So your mind, initially your mind will bring, vitaka will bring your mind to the meditation object. Vichara trying to sustain nearby, holding nearby, examining. Then when vitaka and vichara is walking away, then piti will arise. Then trying to continue to practice, then pleasure or happiness in your body, in your mind will arise. Then later, because of tranquility and happiness in your mind, concentration will establish. So that is your mind able to take meditation object firmly, So that means your mind is not going anywhere. One-pointedness. Then when you complete all these 5 jhana factors, then you attain the first jhana. The first jhana. So here, apnami, apna is a type of vitaka actually, a type of vitaka. But here, the mind became fixed, apna, on the object. The mind take only one object, breathing, or maybe nimitta, bright nimitta, fix. So that is a, So that is a apanami jhana, Now you attain the first jhana. So the first jhana simply means is stable concentration, samadhi, or one-pointedness. So that one-pointedness mind or samadhi is attained because of vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha. Then, because of earlier 4, you attain one-pointedness or samadhi, concentration. So concentration is divided into 5 levels, right? 5 levels. So the first level accompanied by 5 jhana factors, right? 5 jhana factors. So we'll go a little bit further. So this is the process of attaining jhana according to Abhidhamma. So this is from Mr. Rupert Kathin in his lectures. So I like it. So this one is a Bhavanga Chaita where by break, and you have a mind door, mind door adverting. So normally you attain jhana by closing your eye, Your eye consciousness is not working, ear consciousness is not working, nose, tongue, the body consciousness are not working. Only the mind is working, right? So therefore, mind door adverting. Mind door open. Then you will have a javana. You will have a javana means you're trying to attain jhana. So at that level, it's called jhana. Javana, impression. Javana. Then after trying, your mind fixed to the meditation object. That's called jhana. In other words, it's called apana. So according to Abhidhamma, when you attain the first jhana for the first time, you have only one jhana chaitas, then you fall down. You fall down from the jhana. Then you will have bhavanga chaita again. Then you try to attain jhana again. Then you may have more jhana chaitas. Then you fall down from jhana again. Then you have a lot of bhavanga chaitas, trying to attain jhana again. It needs a lot of practice, by using five methods. So that means when you attain, a lot of jhana, consciousness, it became very stable, right? Earlier I showed, right? When you are sleeping without dreaming, your body very stable. Just like that, when you attain a lot of jhana chaitas, then the mind becomes stable. No moving, When you attain jhana, no moving. Your body is very stable. Okay, so I will talk about genuine feature of the first jhana, not based on my experience, Not based on my experience. This one based on the some writings and also some Dhamma talk. Especially from the book written by Ajahn Brahm. It's a very good book. I have already talked about it, right? mindfulness and beyond, right? Mindfulness and bliss and beyond. It's a very good book. So also I quoted that book. So we can learn general feature of the first jhana. When you attain the first jhana, all hindrances are burned out at that moment of attaining the first jhana. So that means you don't have in your mind, you don't have a sensory desire. No desire to eat, no desire to hear, etc. No sensory desire. Only the mind is working, functioning. And also you don't have an ill will in your mind because you enjoy, right? The bliss of meditation, piti and pleasure, sukha. Because of that, no ill will. Ill will cannot arise. And also, no sloth in torpor. Your mind is active. No sleepiness, no drowsiness. Your mind is active. Your mind is fresh. Because of that, no sloth and torpor. And also, no worry and restlessness. Because of concentration, no restlessness, no worry. And also, no doubt. Earlier, you may think that, how is it possible to attain jhana? Is it possible to just point it out to the one object? You may have a lot of doubt, right? But now you attain jhana by yourself. So that doubt also disappear. So all 5 hindrances are burned out at that particular moment. So for that reason, the meditator feels blissful peace and happiness. So that happiness, that peace is nothing to do with sensory perception, which totally transcends sensory perception. Sensory perception means your happiness, your pleasure, not based on what you see, what you hear, etc., right? Based on the mind, concentration. It is together with a thought, or a gentle movement of the mind to the meditation object. Your movement of the mind is so gentle during the jhana state. Automatic movement back to the meditation object. That's vitakka, right? Vitakka, thought. Initial application. Stillness with a little bit of movement. So Ajahn Brahm used the word weapon of mind caused by thought. So that means it talk about vichara. You still have a little bit of movement. The mind, a little bit, need to, weapon of the mind, little bit of movement. That weapon of the mind can cause falling from the jhana, especially because of noises. So that the moment you attain the first jhana, your concentration is not very, of course, when you look at right now, it's very powerful. When we compare to higher jhana, it's not powerful yet. So when you hear loud noise outside, you may fall from jhana. So therefore, the Buddha said that noise is a thorn to the first jhana. So that means when you attain second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, noise are not important. When I taught to meditation, I'm told having a quiet place is important. Then one serious meditator said that, Bhante, noise is not important for me. Because he experienced serious meditator, serious meditator. For him, noise is not important. Anywhere he can meditate. But for beginner, of course, noise is a disturbance for him. So one serious meditator, Singaporean meditator, not in Burmese one, Singaporean meditator said that, Bhante, noise is not important for me. Very good. Very good, you know. Here, so actually when you talk about the nature of jhana, as we earlier said last week, when you stay here, the noise in your environment, you're not in jhana, you're not in jhana. So that means your ear is still working, you know, still working. When you can smell, you know, you're not in jhana. When you know that somebody is touching your body, you're not in jhana, because sensory perception, right? Sensory perception. So here, when you, the moment you attain jhana, of course, when you look at from Bdmv view, is very strong. Concentration is very strong. But when you look at from top-down view, from the second jhana, third jhana, it's not very powerful yet. It can fall down from because of noises in the environment. Rapture, piti, and pleasure or happiness, sukha, born of seclusion, pervade both physical and mental body. So here, even though the mind is working, you know, you will have a rapture and pleasure based on your body and mind. The mind know it, the mind know it. So this is the nature of the jhana. Okay, up to now any question? Because I was trying to answer as much as I know. Any question? Okay, if no question, let's continue. So the first jhana, we say the first jhana, wholesome consciousness, together with the thought, vitakka, together with the vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata, right? So this is the first jhana, according to Abhidhamma. When we talk about Anupada Sutta, triple one in Majjhima Nikaya. So we talk about enlightenment of Venerable Sariputta. So in that sutta, we have a 60 jhana factors. 60 jhana factors. Not only five, you know. But when we talk about Mahavedana Sutta, when we look at the conversation between Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Kottika, Venerable Sariputta talk about 5 jhana factors. Maybe these 5 jhana factors are the most prominent ones, right? The most prominent one. Okay, let's talk about the first jhanas in the suttas. Normally, the sutta mention, every sutta mention the first jhana in this way. Here, secluded from sensual pleasures. So if you want to attain jhana, you need to overcome sensual pleasures. So as long as you have a sensory desire, you cannot meditate. You cannot attain jhana. Secluded from unwholesome state. Unwholesome state means you don't have lobha, you don't have dosa, you don't have a moha by that time. Secluded from unwholesome state. A bhikkhu enters and dwells in the first jhana, which consists of rapture, piti, pleasure, sukha, born of seclusion. Those rapture and those pleasure, or joy and happiness, arises because of seclusion. Seclusion means detachment from sensual pleasures. Detachment from sensual pleasures. Accompanied by thought, accompanied by vitakka and vichara, examination. So that means when you look at the sutta, you can see that rapture, piti, sukha, Vitaka Vichara, right? Four. So we cannot see, right? Concentration or one-pointedness. But jhana itself is one-pointedness, right? Jhana itself is one-pointedness. So he trenches, steep, saturate, and suffuse his body with this rapture and happiness or pleasure born of seclusion, so that there is no part of his entire body which is not suffused by this rapture and happiness. You can imagine that, right? You can imagine that. So joy and happiness pervade the whole your body, all of your mind. So that will be the bliss of jhana, the bliss of jhana. And then Samanya Phala, the Buddha gave a simile. And then simile or lotus, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure. Simile or lotus. When you put the lotus flower inside the water, it pervades the whole lotus flowers, like that. Okay, any question?
Bhante, for the first jhana, is there an indication from the text how long is the duration of the first jhana? When a person go into first jhana, normally it lasts how long?
It depends. As I earlier said that according to Bdmv, when you attain the first jhana for the first time, it's very quick, only one jhana consciousness. Then you attain that jhana consciousness, then you fall down. The bhavanga chetas, a lot of bhavanga chetas. Then you need to try again. Then you will have more jhana consciousness. Maybe 1 minute, 1 minute jhana consciousness. A lot of jhana consciousness in 1 minute. Then you will fall down. Like a baby, right? Like a baby. A baby trying to walk for the first time, but only one step fall down, right? Then the baby have to get up again and walk. Then after 2 steps, fall down again, like that. The meditator also, if you want to attain more time, when you want to dress in jhana for more time, about 10 minutes, maybe you need to make a lot of effort. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, like that. To attain jhana for 1 hour, it will need a lot of practice. You need to practice a lot. So by using 5 kinds of mastery, later maybe next week I will talk about this. You need to make 5 kinds of mastery to attain longer period for time. It depends on your practice.
Okay, the second question is your earlier slide, the rapture and this happiness is born of seclusion. Are you referring to the meditator had to practice isolation, bodily isolation?
No. Seclusion is secluded from sensual pleasure. Here, you have to look at secluded from sensual pleasures and secluded from unwholesome state. So that means we have joy and happiness because of sensual pleasures, right? But here, when you attain jhana, your joy and happiness is nothing to do with the sensual pleasures. We are happy sometimes because of lobha, sometimes because of dosa, right? But here, your joy and happiness, nothing to do with unwholesome mental state. Secluded. Actually here, therefore I use the word Pali. If you just look at English translation, it will lead to misunderstanding. Of course, in English, seclusion is a quiet place, right? Quiet place. So that means here, secluded. Totally far from sensual pleasures. So here the Buddha used, second time. Vivecheva kamehi, vivecheva akusale dhammehi. Vivekachan, seclusion from sensual pleasure. So here, piti and sukha arise because of seclusion from sensual pleasures. And so therefore, maybe here I just a small comparison, small comparison. I normally share this experience. And a few years ago, a student from SMU came in study our temple. So I was invited to talk to them. Then they asked question. There's question. So the first question: why do you become a monk? Why? My simple answer: because of happiness. Happiness. I'm happy being a monk. Because of that. But my happiness and your happiness may not be the same. You are happy by watching movie, by listening music, right? By playing game, etc. By eating good food, etc. So their happiness of the human being normally come from sensual desire, right? Sensual desire. So as a monk, so we have to try to stay away from all these sensual pleasures. Not allowed to watch movie, not allowed to watch music, right? Etc. But stay happy. So here, happiness, we need to define. What is happiness? Happiness is free from suffering, free from mental suffering, especially dukkha nidora, right? Cessation of suffering. Normally, the life of a monk, less mental suffering than normal people, right? That's my happiness, I became a monk because of that happiness. So, here also in jhana, the life of a monk is nothing to do with, we have to avoid sensual pleasures, right? Normally. So, we have to stay away from sensual pleasures. But we don't, because of that, we have less mental problem, We have a less mental suffering. If we are genuine monk, if you are genuine and real monk. So that means our happiness, our joy is nothing to do with the sensual pleasures. Secluded from sensual pleasures. Secluded from unwholesome state. Right? Okay, that is just not the same, but just I want you to get an idea, right? An idea. So here, within the jhana, the first jhana, you will have a rapture and pleasure in your mind. It is nothing to do with the sensual pleasures. Secluded from sensual pleasures. Okay, I think let's call it a day. We will explain next week a little bit further. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagava kata kecho paragato bala vidiya samangi Dan sukatan saranata mupemi raga viraga maninja masokan Dhamma masanga dhamma patikulan madura Mimampa gunan suwipatan Dhamma miman saranathamupemi Yatha cha te nama hapalamahu Chatusu sisu purisa yugesu Attacha pogala dhammadasate Sangami mansaranatha mupemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.